everybody. I'm Jeremy Crooks. I'm the Head of Innovation at the Coal Authority, and I'll take you through some of the science. Why is this energy that sits there? Is this working? Yeah, fine, thank you. Okay, so the coal fields of the UK, so over 25% of UK people and businesses sit on the coal fields. 9 out of 10 of the largest urban areas are on the coal fields or adjacent to the coal fields. The exception is London. Thank you. When the mines become abandoned, the water has been pulled down while they've been worked, the pumps are switched off, and now the groundwater table is trying to recover back to where it was originally, so it's pulling back up. And across the UK, we have a mixed bag about. Some of the collieries will recover very, very quickly, some of those are a little bit slower, but ultimately that water will recover back to the water table, or it will come out of adits that have been intercepted during the drilling. Thank you. So where does this geothermal energy come from? Well, there's a number of processes that are taking place. One is the molten core and the heat that's permeating through that. Another one is radioactive decay that's happening around that body. There's also a gravity-induced pressure that's creating heat, and then there's also bacteria in rock that creates that heat as well. But all of these processes are geological. Whatever we do on the surface of the planet has no effect on that heat that sits in there. And as long as there's going to be humans on the planet, there will still be this heat that's emanating and working its way out towards the surface. And of course, that's a sustainable, zero carbon energy source. Thank you. So when it comes to the mine workings, which are now flooding, it transfers that heat into the water. Water is a preferential transmitter of heat, so it comes into contact with that and then takes it through the workings into below ground. Where we are relatively close to surface, we're typically pulling out water at between 10 and 21 degrees. And that water will be consistent. So if it was 15 degrees that we were pulling the water out at, it would be 15 degrees in the summer, it would be 15 degrees in the winter. There is no seasonal impact on this water that sits in the mines, with the exception of a few flashy mines that we have. If we go deeper, then we start to get to these 30 to 40 degrees. The warmest mine we found so far is around about 46 degrees. It wasn't any warmer than that, because actually it was too hot for miners to work. So that was the limit on how far they could go. Thank you. So we've done a calculation to work out what we believe the sustainable energy that's recharging within the UK's coal mines. And if you think that coal has been mined very intensively for over 250 years, we calculate something like 2.2 million gigawatt hours of annually renewing, zero carbon, rechargeable energy. That's enough to eat 180 million homes. In the coal fields, there's only something like 7 million homes, so there's 25 times more energy in the water that sits below those urban areas than they would actually use. Okay? So how do you abstract this? There is nothing innovative, there's nothing new, there's nothing to be proven here. This is stuff that we already do. So the Coal Authority sinks boreholes into mine workings and we abstract water to stop it coming out to surface and being a pollutant. And we take out of the mines something like 122 million cubic meters of water a year. So sinking boreholes into mine workings, it's understood taking water out of mine workings is really well understood. So you take that out and you put it into a heat pump. And that heat pump is a refrigerator in reverse. So again, it's a technology that's really well understood. It takes out that heat, takes out around about 5 degrees of temperature out of that, and then that then goes into your commercial buildings or into your district heating, ideal for space heating. And those heat pumps will have a coefficient of performance of 4 or greater. And what that coefficient of performance means, for every 1 kilowatt of energy, the electrical energy you put in, you get 4 or greater back out again. So our scheme where we've been having an heat pump operated the last 7 years, we get a coefficient of performance of 5. So it's a 500% efficiency. If we go for those warmer temperatures and we get down to those 30, 40 degrees, then we've got a coefficient performance that's well over 20. So extremely efficient to recover that heat backwards. Thank you. So once you've taken this heat out, it's now cooler water. If we carried on just taking this water out and putting it out to a river, what we'd actually do is we'd do exactly what happened when the mine was being worked. We would drop the water level. So what we do is we re-inject it back into the workings. At Durham at the moment, we've got a scheme where we'll have 2 boreholes 20 metres apart. One will be abstracting from a deep sea, another one will be re-injecting into a shallow sea, but actually the connectivity for that water to go back again is 6.5 kilometres. So 20 metres apart, but 6.5 kilometres that water to go back and recharge its heat again, ready to be pulled out again. Thank you. So this is a real scheme. So this is a scheme that we're looking to start beginning next year. This will be our first major mine energy scheme, 1,400 ohms, and this is the carbon intensity savings on it. So the top red line you've got there would be gas boilers on this scheme. So that's the conventional carbon intensity. The carbon intensity of our mine energy scheme is this grey line that you see at the bottom there. And the reason that that line is decreasing, it's getting lower, is because it's using energy out of the decarbonising grid. So we're mirroring that. We're looking to put renewables onto this scheme. If we could put a solar farm alongside it, we would have a virtually zero carbon, sustainable energy source that will be here and infinitum. Thank you. What does this give you as benefits? It's a low temperature, low cost network. We will be less than the price of gas, so we're competitive with gas, but significantly better carbon savings. Because it's a low temperature network, you can actually use plastic pipes. So it actually becomes much cheaper to put this into the network. This will be a 60-40 network, 60 degrees feed, 40 degrees cold water coming back. That will be no different to the users. They will have a conventional radiators in their house that will know no different, except they've got this very low carbon energy source. This is stable pricing. Because this is geothermal energy, it isn't going to change. The costs of this don't change. The only element that's going to alter, apart from RPI on maintenance, is going to be the electrical requirement. So if the scheme is viable now, what's going to happen in 10, 15 years' time when gas or hydrogen or whatever else is going to come and they're more expensive, electricity is more expensive? Actually, this is a stable price. Is this what could change the communities, the coalfield communities, to give them a cost advantage going forwards? Thank you. You can also use the mine in a number of ways. We could have cold zones. So cooling is the fastest growing area of energy use in the UK. So we could be cooling. We could be pulling out that geothermal energy. But you can also store energy in a mine. So we could raise the temperature of a mine to 40 degrees or so, get a very efficient coefficient of performance on the recovery of that. And we would source that energy from things like renewables. 2 years ago, 150 million was spent to wind turbines not to turn. We could take all that spare energy, and there is a lot of spare energy within the coalfield, put that into the mine to be recovered again. Thank you. So just to finish, the mines were created. We heard in the lecture earlier on about how coal created the industrial revolution that created these coalfield areas and these populations. It's gone into decline. Actually, that mining infrastructure below ground could never be recreated. It is truly vast, and this is a real opportunity to turn that liability into an asset of strategic importance to the UK. And the beneficiaries of this will be the coalfield communities that were built out of that coal. Thank you.